Guys, what the hell is Insomniac freaking cooking? First of all, happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you guys are dressing up, got some cool costumes together, and being responsible. And, you know, hitting that like button right now. Second of all, I want to thank every single one of you for sending me what the subject of today's video is. There is a crazy Easter egg that people found in this game, a secret room that could be hinting at DLC. You know, we talked a lot in yesterday's video about DLC and what we can potentially expect for the future of the Marvel Spider-Man franchise. So let me say with that there are going to be some spoilers in today's video if you haven't beaten the game or played through all the side content. And you'll remember in yesterday's video, we talked about potential hints that Daredevil could be a DLC expansion or a part of a DLC expansion for Marvel Spider-Man 2. You know, Brian Intihar was on IGN's spoiler cast, and during the spoiler cast, they asked him a peculiar question. You know, if you go to Hell's Kitchen, Nelson and Murdoch's law firm now has an empty sign, and it looks like the place has been vacated. And IGN asked Brian Intihar, what's up with that? And Brian Intihar had this to say.
One of our gameplay editors noticed Nelson and Murdoch's sign is gone. Is that intentional, or is that just, oops?
That's a good question. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah. Good find, though.
I mean, literally leaving it on stay tuned, that's as big of a tease as you could possibly give that there's going to be at least something Daredevil within the Insomniac Marvel universe at some point in the future. We know the character exists within the world, and matter of fact, if you actually beat that Sandman side mission, whether you beat it as Peter or as Miles, they make reference to Matt Murdock.
She's okay. Wish there was more I could do. Maybe I can ask some lawyer friends to help Marco with visitation rights.
You know, if you beat it as Miles, he says, oh, I think Peter mentioned that he knows a good lawyer. Maybe I should tell him to hit him up so that he can help out Sandman. So in my mind, you know, that's how we kind of bring a narrative tie to the introduction of Matt Murdock within the Marvel Spider-Man universe. But then, of course, lingering beyond all of that is, well, one Cletus Cassidy. If you play through the Flame side mission, you know that he has a symbiote and it was turning red. We're definitely getting Carnage either in a DLC or in Marvel Spider-Man 3. And myself and many other agree, at least we hope that it's going to be in a DLC, because then that just ties a nice, neat little bow on the entire symbiote storyline within this one game. It's also just better this way for Carnage to be the focal point, the main villain of an expansion, rather than a villain that gets thrown to the side, because we're definitely going to be facing off against Green Goblin in Marvel Spider-Man 3. So Carnage is maybe the villain of the DLC, and maybe Daredevil is a hero that's going to show up and assist us at some point. Some people, though, are still a little up in the air. They're not sure about the Daredevil angle. Let me blow your mind. Okay, a bunch of people sent me this TikTok, and I have to give credit to a gamer that's cool for being the one to make this original TikTok, and as far as I'm aware, be the first one to find this. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I will make sure to add credit in the description. But if you go to this specific spot on the map in Marvel Spider-Man 2 and walk down this alleyway, first of all, you're gonna see a flag hanging over this building that's all red. There's a garage door that's closed and a weird symbol above it. Then if you look through the window, there's a flashing red light in this room, that same symbol above the garage door, and a bunch of guns and knives. Well, I should say swords. A bunch of swords and guns and a bunch of weaponry. And weirdly enough, if you jump over to the other side of this building, there is one of the only buildings, as far as I'm aware, in the entirety of Marvel's New York within Spider-Man 2 that you can enter. You walk in and you can actually see on one of the pillars in the room that same red symbol, and clearly behind the bookcase of what looks to be this random place we can walk into is that same room we just saw through the window with the flashing red light. What the hell does this mean? Insomniac, what are you cooking? What's going on? This is starting to give me those same vibes that you might remember from the Arkham games, where people would find like a secret room that hinted towards the future of the franchise. And I feel like that's exactly what Insomniac is doing here. This placement of this room, the red flag, all that stuff, it feels too intentional to have just been some random mistake, maybe a glitch. No, they did this on purpose. They're definitely teasing something, and a lot of people right now, the running theory is that this is maybe a secret hideout for for the Hand. Yes, the famous Hand clan that is mostly associated with Daredevil. So we might see a full-on DLC expansion that does deal with the Flame and maybe also deals with the Hand. We get Carnage, we get Daredevil, and my mind is blown. Speaking of the Flame, this could also be a hideout for them. We don't know fully what the symbol would be for the cult that is the Flame, as far as I'm aware. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, though. But the Flame, you know, that cult, they're arsonists. They use a lot of weaponry that involves, you know, lighting stuff on fire. I'm not sure why they'd have a secret room with a bunch of swords and guns. It'd make more sense if you saw a weapon rack with a whole line of flamethrowers that be like, oh yes, this is definitely for the Flame. But I mean, coupling what Brian Interhard teased regarding Daredevil on that IGN spoiler cast with these recent finds, these recent Easter eggs, and oh my goodness, the future of Marvel Spider-Man 2 is something to be very excited for, because right now it's up in the air. We don't know if there's going to be DLC, but I think everyone is assuming that it's going to happen, and I think Insomniac is playing it close to the chest. Spider-Man 2 is supposed to be pretty much one of the biggest launches for the entirety of the PlayStation 5. There's no way they let it rest just as is. They're totally going to have an expansion of some kind, and I for one am beyond excited, and I know you guys are too. I'm gonna bring you guys all the coverage, all the content you can possibly imagine for whatever this is going to be right here on this channel. You gotta be subscribed and you gotta have those notifications on. I'll leave you with one more thing, although I think this one's a bit of a stretch. A lot of people have mentioned to me that when you walk into that secret room, you can see that there's a painting on the wall and it kind of looks like there is a seal of Ashanti there. So maybe the DLC could have something to do with Doctor Strange. I don't think that's going to be the case though, because it's not an accurate one-to-one seal of Ashanti. It just like kind of looks like it. So I still think that this is going to have something to do with the Hand, and I am going to agree with the rest of the internet that we're most likely getting Daredevil in some way, shape, or form within the Insomniac Marvel universe. Whether that's through his own game from Insomniac, popping up in a DLC for Marvel Spider-Man 2, or maybe even popping up in Marvel Spider-Man 3. One way or another, I think within the future, either near or far, Insomniac's going to do something for the Man Without Fear. I won't fully count out the whole theory about maybe something Doctor Strange related. I mean, we know that they fully, straight up revealed that Doctor Strange, Wong, magic, all that stuff exists within Insomniac's Marvel Universe. I mean, there is a literal mission where Black Cat is using Doctor Strange magic, and then Wong leaves you a note saying, hey, me and the Doctor owe you one. Come on. So maybe Insomniac will do something Doctor Strange related. I mean, they had a lot of fun playing with that mission that allowed them to utilize the same technology from Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but for the most part, again, I think this is something to do with Daredevil. And with that being said, let me now kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about all this? Does that secret room that we have found now confirm potentially that we're going to be getting Daredevil as part of DLC for Marvel Spider-Man 2? Is that a hidden hideout for the Hand? And also, if we do get DLC for Spider-Man 2, what do you most hope to see within it? Sound off with all your thoughts in the comment section below. I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.